Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain, back for some more Dungeons & Dragons Online. Again, joined with our friend Shira. Now, for these quests here, this is going to be the Mines of Tethiamar. And in order to access this content, you do need to head over to Evening Star, kind of just off to the west of the central kind of market area. You will see a dwarf here, Armon. And you'll be able to talk to him. On the map, it will show up as a yellow X. Hovering over top, it does say Tethiamar Mining Outpost, so it does kind of point you there. So what you do is you talk to the dwarf, and he'll send you right into the mines. Now, this content here has a lot of undead. And as you can see, a lot of quests here as well. So we're going to talk to Asta, pick up our first part. Obviously, as you can see, you can pick them up and do them in any order, but we're just going to follow the order that they provided. So from here, we're going to want to head up across the bridge, round the corner, and talk to Aloevain Steadfast, and grab that quest there. And we're going to hop right into this one. So first things first, like always, we are going to be casting our buffs. Really just get ourselves prepared for these quests. Alright, so while we're heading in, you do want to talk to the dwarf here. They will allow us to proceed deeper in. Once it actually lets us there. Alright, so there we go. So she drops the barrier and we can head on into the water. See here, we just gotta swim. And swim. And here we are. So at this point we can head up. And it kind of has a little air pocket, allowing us to head on out. So this is content that is, again, a little bit more on the difficult side, just due to, as you can see, the hit points of the enemies are back up to almost 2,000, 16 to 2,000 per enemy. Some of them going, 2,200 there. Opposed to some of the other quests at this level where they have the enemies sitting at about 800. So, again, newer content, or newer-ish, and it's a lot more difficult than some of the older, more legacy-in content. So, just be careful doing these quests on a harder difficulty. So, once you get here, we do have two directions. It does mention that we have tracks heading off to the west, but if you choose to head east, dead end. Yeah, I do apologize. It's been a long time since I've run these, so sorry for the bad jokes. Alright, so here, again, we have a little ambush just on the other side of the water. So if you get at any point during this fight a little too overwhelmed, remember you can always head back into the water, and they can't actually follow you in there, so they will rubber band. So it's kind of a nice little buffer for you if needed. Once they drop, as you notice, our gate did open up. But again, you can choose to head south for another dead end. As you can see, it's really kind of pushes you along one direction, so these ones are very hard to get lost in. Alright, and if you actually stop to notice and have run search and rescue, this is actually the same area location that this one takes place in. Which is why if you head over to this side, why there is a door here, why it actually has a path going through, it's because they use the same model and the same area. So if it looks familiar, that is why. So from here, we do need to head up the ramp. And that is search and rescue for the optional path that uses the same character model there. Alright, so once everybody is dead, before heading through the door, obviously make sure that you are full hit points and fully prepared. Now, like before, it's going to open us up into an entranceway. However, unlike before, this whole section is actually blocked off, whereas in the other quest there, it is not. So there are some differences between the two. Alright, now once you've defeated them, our door opens up. Now we can choose to head off north. This time we actually can go through the door. So the door is locked. Oh, and you can't pick it. Okay, so we actually do have to go south first. Yeah, sorry about that. So right around the corner, group of guys. Yeah, as you can tell, I really don't run this content as often as I should. Typically speaking, at this level, I really only run Sharn content. Though this is really fun, it's just typically more than I'm willing to put in, and at this point I usually have my experience to take level. Obviously for these videos you'll notice that my XP bar really doesn't move, and that's because I'm already hard capped. So there definitely is way more content in the game than is required to level, so you don't always have to run the same bunch of quests, but eventually you get a couple of quests that you really like, and you honestly tend to run them more often than the other ones. And I am truthfully no different. But then it is nice every now and then to mix things up, either, you know, getting a random group up or helping other people with these quests. Alright, so here, off to our right, we do have a lever at the back of the room. Pulling the lever will obviously light our room, which is opening the door to our south. Or rather, part of the door. We have a second rune in this room. There we go. Once both are pulled, we are able to open the door to push in. Now, as you can see, we do have a captain here. Now, fighting and killing the captain will give us the key we need in order to push forward. So here we are. Or maybe it's just unlocked on death. Okay. Either way, you Nope, no, here we are. Lever.
The sigil above the lever begins to hum slow.
And of course we have our shrine, which totally gonna make use of because these quests are almost new to me again. Alright. Once you've done that room, you just need to head back a ways. And we can now go through our northern door. So there's the rune which I did miss before. And our door is now unlocked. So if you look carefully, you can actually see the guys kind of crouched there. And if you stay far enough back, you can actually drag them one at a time. Or you can, rush in, get the whole aggro, and, it all depends on what you feel comfortable as a player, as a group, and just what works for your playstyle. So again, same thing. And they really like hiding around those corners, so... Once everyone is defeated, go ahead and pull the lever, as you heard it did just unlock. And it kind of leads us into this section. Now, as you can see, a whole lot more guys are going to bust out. We're going to have guys shooting us from afar across the bridge. Now, a trick again to them is you can actually shoot them on this side before crossing the bridge, and you'll notice that our Drow Priestess is actually stuck over there, not able to get across because everybody else is just standing in her way. This makes it super easy to actually be able to kill her. Again, due to the fact that they're just standing there. Now, once you start heading across that bridge, they will start to spawn in. So here we are. So you just gotta prepare yourself. Do you want to fight them all at once? Or how do you want to go about it? Now, once you do that, you're going to want to cross. And you actually have a couple of rifles. I know, cool, right? And if memory serves... No, there is not. Okay. So yeah, there is no path there. For whatever reason, I was thinking there was a path there, but there's not. So we're going to continue north. and push on through. Alright. So at this point, head through the gate. So yeah, it is a lot longer of a quest in comparison to some of the other ones. And with the CR rating of these enemies, again, it can be kind of difficult. Ooh, famine in play. Plague. Couldn't get him a heal in time. So yeah, that is the advantage of actually going in with a full party, which I definitely recommend for these quests. Alright. So they do mention that there are marks off to the south. Now again, poking your head to the north, you can see some Umber Hulks. So if you are going here, just prepare for a fight, because if you remember from before, these guys have several ways to stun you. And just do truckloads of damage. Alright. So pushing further, as you see, dead end with a secret door. So here it leads you into a full optional to defeat the Magma Brute. Now as you'll notice, the location of these kind of safe spots will change. Now you do gotta jump kind of wait as the lava is deeper. And you just gotta kind of try and make your way across. Once here, of course, you can feed on him. If you are wanting to, of course, you can just hop across and swim, all depending on your fire resistance. And man, nice little rem chest. And rando loot chest as well. Now, unfortunately, these guys don't change. So the way back, you kind of got to do the same thing. Now, personally, you almost take less damage if you just swim it. I try to stay on the blocks as best I can. But if I fall, I fall. Again, fire resistance really negates a lot of the damage that you take. You know, lava being a fire damage source. At this point, you do want to head south. Kind of head the direction that they were hinting for you to go. Alright, so you want to keep heading down the southern path. just continue down our path. All right. So now heading down, again we get another section. Again, we can't really head off to the north, so all that's left here is to go south through the spiders, but again, watch yourself. As they do some damage. Alright, so heading south. Wouldn't you know? More spiders. Alright, so Rems. Now we're going to continue heading south and east. Just kind of following the path here. And have it come all the way up to here where we're looping around and fighting the priest. Once we defeat the priest, we can actually head back. And that gate that was closed to the north, we're actually going to be heading up that path there. So here, as she died, it unlocked our lever. Does give us a nice little loot chest here. And then some shrines. And then again, once you're done shrining, go ahead and head back north. And we'll be able to proceed through those. Alright. So here we go. Alright, so continue around. We're going to come to this giant cavern. So at this point, we're now getting towards the actual, like, meat of the issue, which was the dwarves were being enslaved here. Now, as you see, it does ask us for a way to free them. Which, in order to free the dwarves, what we need to do is head to the end. We're going to need to activate the runes here. Alright, so let's give you this. Or rather, not activate the rune. And yes, they definitely do like their bleeds effect. Alright, so we got a few more guys here. So heading in, it's going to give us a nice little shrine before our end fight. Now, in order to get the bonus on the end fight, you actually do want to make sure you don't kill any of the dwarves before killing the jailer. Now, I don't know how well we're going to be, as both Sheer and I do AoE type damage, and it is a more difficult quest. So the trick is you can either cast Dance or something like that on the dwarves, or just focus all the enemies down here and kind of hope that you're not attacking them. But again, you do get an optional for keeping the dwarves alive. So I'm hoping there that we will be able to. We obviously gotta wait for him to stop talking. But again, as you can see, the AoE damage. So there we are. Now once this trash dies, just kiting these guys around, the actual jailer himself will pop down. And he's not overly too terrible. Again, you just want to focus on him. And if you're lucky, and of course not killing any of the dwarves like the meteoritic star, you will be able to focus them down, getting the extra optional here, which we were lucky enough to get. Extra 1400 XP. And then it asks us to talk to Relay. He's kind of happy you saved everyone. Bam. As you can see, 26 minutes, 31,000. Honestly, it's a lot of effort for not a lot of reward. Though the actual loot that you get out of here isn't terrible. So you get items like this rapier, the Thunder Strike. You can get like the cloak here, the Shimmer. As you can see, charisma, insightful, and quality enchantment focus. So that'd be really great for like a bard, you know, somebody who uses disco balls. See if we can get ourselves one of those. And no luck for us. And yeah, so that's been this one. So honestly, kind of long, kind of rough, but I like doing them because they're not quests I typically do. Anyway guys, thank you so much for joining. It's been a blast. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one all.